We are back in today, NFL Free Agents 2024. We're going to be going through every single position, mostly skill position, but we are going to have a couple defensive guys in there as well. And we're going to talk about who are the top free agents heading into 2024. And also, we're going to potentially talk a little bit about who I think is coming back, and we're going to have you guys comment down below who you guys think is coming back as well. But before we get into the video, today's video is actually sponsored by WinXDVD. I'm partnering up with them to potentially give one of you guys a PlayStation 5. Now, WinXDVD has an amazing software with WinX Video AI, and it can actually edit your video for you using artificial intelligence. You can download and record, you can save sports videos or other videos to watch offline anytime. It'll record your favorite highlights for you, and it'll even enhance your video, potentially using 4K upscaling. It'll boost your frame rates. You'll be able to make some GIFs, some YouTube shorts, of course, of your favorite players, and it'll also help edit your video as well. So go enter that giveaway. The link will be down in the description. Win a potential PS5 by guessing your Super Bowl winner. So today, the free agents we're going to talk about first are quarterbacks. So the quarterback market is pretty strong in free agency, notably headed up by two candidates. Ryan Tannehill is one of them, who I think is one of the main free agents this year as a QB, as well as Kirk Cousins, probably the most, the most sought after. Kirk Cousins was having an amazing year until injury. And then after that injury, who knows if he'll be coming back to Minnesota? I would assume so. Kirk Cousins, he's a Minnesota man. He wants to be in Minnesota. I'd be shocked if Kirk Cousins leaves Minnesota, especially after the amazing year that they started out having. And then after Kirk Cousins, when Josh Dobbs was, in his prime in Minnesota, I thought for a second, Kirk Cousins better watch out. Josh Dobbs is doing good things. And then the QB troubles started happening. I'd be shocked if the Vikings don't give a return offer to Kirk. Ryan Tannehill, on the other hand, kind of seems like he was forced out of the door after a small injury in Tennessee. He is still, a high-value quarterback getting a lot of money, but is he going to be able to find a starting job? I don't know. Think back to what happened with Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was about the same caliber, I would say, as Tannehill. Yes, Tannehill has been more consistent, has, had more experience, you can say. But I think that Ryan Tannehill is going to have a hard time finding a starting job somewhere in the NFL. Now we're going to head over to running backs. Lots and lots of running backs that are free agents. Most notably, a guy that I think it's safe to say is not going to be returning. He's going to have a new home. Derrick Henry, the king. Derrick Henry, this is a guy, he's 30 years old, coming off not one of his best seasons, only 1,200-ish rushing yards, still pretty solid for his age, 12 rushing touchdowns, hell of a lot of touchdowns, again, he always seems to find pay dirt. But Derrick Henry, he obviously gave that speech after the last Titans home game, gave a speech to the fans, said thanks for everything, peace out. So Derrick Henry's going to find a new home. Where can he go? I'm seeing a lot of rumors about Derrick Henry potentially going to the Eagles. We have to see how the Eagles' cap situation looks. And why would the Eagles need a running back, you might think, because DeAndre Swift is there. Yeah, about DeAndre Swift. So the Eagles obviously traded for DeAndre Swift, and he had a solid season, 1,000 rushing yards, 200 receiving yards. Not too many touchdowns. He kind of got scammed by the Jalen Hurts QB sneak. But DeAndre Swift, he was on his rookie contract still, only a $2 million value. So he's due to get paid. Can the Eagles afford him? I'm not sure. Might be peace out. They might choose to pay someone like Derrick Henry instead of Swift. That just might be how it goes. Some other notable running backs. Josh Jacobs for the Raiders. The Raiders, I mean, they're kind of a new-look team. If Jimmy Garoppolo can kind of come back from injury and perform well, they could be, heading in a better direction, obviously, than with the guy that they had performing last season. And then obviously they have that new coach. He kind of transformed that team. The defense stepped up, played a lot better towards the end of the season, beating the Chiefs most notably. I think Jacobs will stay. Tony Pollard, the Cowboys, they've also been linked to Derrick Henry potentially, so we'll have to see there. Tony Pollard didn't have the best season, 1,000 rushing yards, 300 receiving yards. I mean, he kind of was what we expected him to be. A lot of people had him as the RB1 in fantasy heading into the season. That didn't happen, but he was pretty solid overall. Saquon Barkley, I think he'll stay with the New York Giants, but we'll have to see what happens there. Like Kirk Cousins, he seems like a really loyal dude. Austin Ekeler, similar thing. Ekeler, he dealt with injuries this year. He had a lot of receiving yards, though, after he came back. And that new Chargers team with Jim Harbaugh, he'll probably be incentivized to stay. Those are the most important running back free agents we're going to talk about. Let's head over to another skill position with wide receiver. Most notably on this thumbnail that made you click on the video, Mike Evans. not too many insane wide receiver free agents this year. So Mike Evans, he had, 1,300 receiving yards, 13 touchdowns. He had a really, really nice season. Now, I think that him and Baker Mayfield built a nice rapport. And Baker Mayfield, I didn't mention this, Baker Mayfield's also a free agent. I think Mayfield kind of earned the starting job, getting that team into the playoffs, beating the Eagles in a nice win. He played well against the Eagles team. And even against the Lions, they had a chance to win that game, but obviously Todd Bowles doesn't know how to coach, whatever. Mike Evans, free agent. Odell is a free agent. He's getting old. Who really cares? Tyler Boyd, will the Bengals have enough cap space to bring him back? Probably. Not too many other notable free agents. 2 other ones, though. Maybe 3 other ones. We have Marquise Brown. Marquise Brown for the Arizona Cardinals. He's kind of been underutilized, I think. He had a solid year this year with 784 yards. Bit of injury. I think he missed some time with injury. You guys can verify that or not. But Marquise Brown, he's not the best wide receiver in the league yet. Definitely has the talent. Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley had a really strong start to the year. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence missed some time due to injury. Christian Kirk also missed some time due to injury, which might have given Calvin Ridley some more chances, and also might have given him some tougher matchups. But Ridley was just shy of 1,000 receiving yards on the season. Actually, you know what? He did have 1,000. Did he have 1,000 receiving yards? What am I looking at? Oh, no, that's snaps. Oh, I'm hallucinating, bro. Calvin Ridley had 1,000 receiving yards on the season, 1,016, 8 touchdowns. So a really good year, considering he was suspended the year prior. I think that the Jaguars will probably want to keep him, considering how good he did. And then T. Higgins and Michael Pittman Jr. T. Higgins dealt with some injuries this year, and obviously dealt with no Joe Burrow, so that hurt him. Is he going to be back? We'll have to see. I would assume that the Bengals are going to want to keep him and Jamar Chase as a dynamic duo. Hopefully start praying that Joe Burrow can stay healthy. Last receiver of this class is Michael Pittman Jr. He had a really good season, 1,200 receiving yards. I mean, he was really, really strong throughout the stretch. He was getting like 11 receptions a game at some points with Gardner Minshew. Now, if Anthony, I mean, they're going to keep him unless they're basically, with that whole Jonathan Taylor situation, they almost guaranteed the fact they're going to keep Pittman. You know, they respect loyalty. They want a guy like Pittman to stay. So I think that's kind of a done deal. Pittman's not going anywhere. Tight end free agents. We're going to go through this quick. We have Dalton Schultz of the Texans. He had a pretty solid year, 640 yards. Him and C.J. Stroud built some rapport. And I think that he's going to like what the Texans did this year. He'll probably stay. And the other good tight ends on this list, do we count Jimmy Graham as a good tight end? Let's comment that one down below, right? Yeah, no, not really. Not too many other notable guys there. And with that, that's going to be the skill positions. I'm going to go to like the top free agents now. We'll look at some defensive guys now. Chris Jones for the Kansas City Chiefs. Chris Jones did a really good job. He had a solid franchise tag. He could have a solid franchise tag, which would be like $33 million next year. And then, I mean, if not, he could test the open market for the first time in his career. He's one of the best interior pass rushers in the game. And we'll have to see if the Chiefs want to bring him back. We'll have to see. Also, this is before the Chiefs versus Ravens playoff game. Maybe that has some impact. We'll see. Josh Allen of the Jacksonville Jaguars, not the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Josh Allen is also a free agent. We'll have to see if he comes back. I think he will. He had career highs in quarterback pressure rates and sacks. He had 19 sacks, I think. That's pretty crazy. So I would assume the Jaguars are going to make him a pretty enticing offer. Brian Burns of the Panthers is another good guy. A lot of good defensive linemen on the free agent market. We'll have to see how that plays out. And with that, I think that probably gives you guys a nice summary of the free agent class in 2024. Comment down below who's going where. And thanks for watching. Peace out. And thanks for WinXDVD for sponsoring this video.